Before we start with today's video, you can help support this channel by sending me commissions at very low prices. If you're interested or have questions, you can DM me here on Twitter, or you can contact me on Discord. My Discord is Starzy at 7488. So if you're interested, be sure to contact me. The only payment method I accept is Cash App. But with that being said, let's get started with the video. So after watching the first two showcase videos of Sonic Frontiers, I had the time to think about whether or not I liked what I saw, to fully give my honest thoughts on what was shown so far. I have voiced out my positive thoughts on the gameplay, but at the same time, my mood would easily drop due to the negative and toxic feedback from the fan base and YouTubers who talked about Frontiers. And yes, I said toxic because Frontiers basically split the community into two camps. One side is defending the game, while the other is ridiculing the game. I'll address some of that later in the video. Gokugen yo everyone, the Starlight Let's Player is here, and today I'm going to be giving my complete honest thoughts and opinions on Sonic Frontiers. Before we begin, I want to say this, so bear with me. Now, I've been a Sonic fan for over a decade, and I've mainly grown up with the modern Sonic games. Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Generations are easily the greatest 3D Sonic games ever made, hands down. That's not to say that I don't like the classic Sonic games, but the physics and the controls just don't work for me, which is why I really don't enjoy Sonic Mania that much. It's a fun looking game, but that's about it. Plus, it's mainly a nostalgia fest, so I don't really consider starting out with this one. If anything, I'd recommend Sonic 1 and Sonic Generations to be the starting point for newcomers, but that's just me though. I say all of this because I want you all to understand where I'm coming from. I'm mostly a modern Sonic fan. I've mostly enjoyed the modern Sonic games. In my opinion, Sonic 4 Episode 2 is easily the best 2D Sonic game, and I think it should have been Sonic 4 itself without Episode 1. Now, when I saw the trailers of Sonic Frontiers, I was excited for it. I think if the gameplay was released a bit earlier this year, then it wouldn't gain such negative feedback. Now, granted, the gameplay was recorded a month before June, but still, you'll see why as we go through the gameplay. But still, I will say this is a showcase, and I don't have high or low expectations of the game, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But putting that aside, here are my thoughts and opinions of Sonic Frontiers. Starting things off here is the momentum of the game. The momentum is something. There's no boost formula, but there is something called a dash you do when you're on the ground. Now, there's nothing wrong with the boost, but I'm glad they're sort of trying something new for the sake of variety. Though the way Sonic grinds on rails is odd. See, when you grind on a rail with no speed, you're gonna eventually slow down. That's how the rail momentum should be like. But in Frontiers, you automatically grind on the rail with no slowdown whatsoever. But to be honest, I don't really see this as a big issue in my opinion. I've played Sonic Forces many times, and even though I think it's a mediocre game, I never had much issues with the rail sections, momentum or not. But that's just my experience. The next thing is the animations. There's a lack of animations in the game. From bouncing on a spring to doing tricks in the air, and with some of the animations, like when you start running, it does feel a bit odd, as well as the animations in combat. They do feel a bit stiff and rough. So hopefully they'll fix this issue, which I think they will, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, for the design of the open world. Now, Sonic Frontiers will be the first Sonic game to have an open world level design, and so far, I think the design and structure of this is mostly good. I do like the structure of this world. It's not that amazing, but I don't mind it that much, and it does borrow a few elements from Sonic Forces, but I don't really see that as a big deal. Forces may have been mediocre, but it had the potential to be a good Sonic game, as well as good elements that I actually enjoyed. So if they're trying to build upon certain elements that have worked in Forces, or could have worked in Forces, then I'm all for it. I do think they should have gave the world a few tweaks to them to make it more polished, but it's good so far. Now, the game will have puzzles to solve to get through certain areas of the world, and it does show how to solve a puzzle and how not to solve a puzzle. There's blue coins to collect as well, which I'm curious on. Like, what will that do? Would it be experience, or would that be enough to just increase Sonic's stats or something? So I'm very curious on what the blue coins will do. The worlds does have some pop-ins when it comes to the designs of the world. Rails and platforms appear when you get closer and closer. Again, this is unfinished, so it'll probably be fixed soon. You may have also noticed the change in weather throughout the world, which I think is pretty neat, and hopefully future games can do that more often. Now for the actual combat of the game. Sonic's 2.5 main abilities throughout the modern games are the homing attack, the spin dash, and jumping onto enemies. But this time he not only has the homing attack, but it's sort of like a combat based attack like what Shadow had back in Sonic 06. But in this game, I actually like it, but that's not all. He has an air kick that is good for long range, a lunge kick I believe, a super dash attack that I think will be automated after doing a combo of attacks, and he can also trail in a circle, which can be useful not only against enemies, but also to get through certain areas of the world. The moveset is phenomenal, and it has some variety. Only thing that needs to be fixed is, again, the animations. Plus, it's weird that when Sonic gets hit by an enemy, he only loses his rings when he touches the ground. Aside from those issues, it's a good moveset. Now, as far as the enemies go, they're okay. They look pretty similar to the enemies from Sonic Forces, but they are better handled here. Some of them are going to have health bars, as you can see, which is going to be, while some are going to be easy to take down. And taking down the beefier enemies will be a bit tedious. But I did heard that the game will have a skill tree, so if it does become a thing, then Sonic will become stronger and fighting these enemies will be a bit easier. So I hope that is actually a thing, and I hope that is actually true. Now, as far as the giant enemy that we saw, it's pretty decent for design wise. I got nothing else to say about it, but it's just decent. Now, as for the sound effects, it's quite nice. From the footsteps to the dashing, pretty much all of the sound effects that Sonic's had is carried over here, and I'm thankful that the sound is actually pretty good. Now, overall, from what I saw, I don't have that much high expectations, but so far I'm impressed by what I've seen. From what they've shown, this could be an interesting game to play. I love the combat system, I think the world looks nice, the sound and music is good, and while the animations and pop-ins are an issue, I do see them fixing all of that soon. But I can't really judge the gameplay that much seeing I haven't played it before, but on the off chance that they do release a demo, I probably will show off the demo if that actually happens. It won't be on the level of Generations, but I think it could surpass Sonic Forces and other mediocre Sonic games in my opinion. So I know people are claiming that the game should have been delayed to 2023. I'm not so sure if it will, but let's give it the benefit of doubt. Let's say that the game does get delayed. Even if that were to happen, I don't think it would do much. The animations, momentum, and pop-ins will be fixed, but everything else will still remain the same. And I don't mind if the game gets delayed or not, but for a mid to late 2023 release, that's going to be a bit of an overboard. If it were early 2023, like March or April 2023, then maybe. But if they stick with the holiday 2022 release, I'm curious on how they'll fix the issues with only 6 months left of development time. And I say 6 months because we still haven't really gotten a release date. Maybe the game will be released in November or December. Who knows? It'll be more interesting to see, but I'm hoping that they'll show some of the story. I want to see what the story of Sonic Frontiers would be about, as well as the objectives here, like what are we supposed to do in this world. But we'll have to wait and see. There's still going to be more gameplay throughout the month of June. And you got to remember, these videos are showcases. They're showing us what the gameplay is going to be like. So I will say, it's okay to criticize the certain details of the game. It's okay to be critical and honest about the game. But don't just say that it's trash or it's just bad or anything that is considered insulting, because I don't think that's going to be like legit criticism. I'll say this, it's not going to be the next 06 and it's not going to be the next Forces, so just calm down everybody. I'm not trying to defend Sega or Sonic Team, and I'm not giving them the benefit of doubt. I'm just stating my thoughts on this game, and for the love of God, leave people alone if they like what they saw in the showcase that you don't, and vice versa. fighting each other isn't gonna do anything, and neither is straight up doxing people. That is pretty much where things are getting way too far. So just stop with all the nonsense, be 100% honest with Sega and Sonic Team without being so aggressive, and let's respect each other's thoughts and opinions and have a legit and mature conversation about the game. But that's all I had to say about Sonic Frontiers. I might make another video whenever there's new updates coming out, and I'm still looking forward to the game. What do you all think? Did you like what you saw in the showcases or not? Or are you in the middle? I'm curious to see what you guys and gals think of Sonic Frontiers so far. I'm also planning on doing more Sonic content on this channel, as this is actually the first Sonic discussion video I've ever made. But until then, this is the Starlight Let's Player signing out. As always, Goki Genyo, and have a startastic day, everyone.
I knew I would fulfill my dream, yeah. They knew I started from the bottom, now I made it, yeah. The possibilities are endless, yeah, I say, yeah. I got the roots and I got everything I need, yeah. And now I'm chilling with a pretty gentle lady, yeah. She got a kind of gentle personality, yeah. She got them curvy hips and a booty for booty, yeah.